You're not going to believe this, Nation. I cannot believe this. Look at that. That is Governor Shapiro meeting with President Volodymyr Zelenskyy of Ukraine, a swing state. He's visiting a swing state in Scranton, an ammunitions factory, to kick off a busy week in the United States. To do what? Of course, to get some more money to fund his forever war in Ukraine. This, to me, as a nation, my fellow Americans, lends itself to the fact that war is a major profiting industry. Everything that Eisenhower warned us about back in the 50s, this is it personified. Zelenskyy had a large motorcade. Oh, by the way, this is worth noting. Look at that. They're signing munitions. Governor Shapiro and Zelenskyy are signing bombs. You're seeing that correctly. This is where, Shapiro was saying that the Palestinians and Hamas are too battle-minded for peace, while this guy's signing ammunitions. What's worth noting is that Zelenskyy was flown to Pennsylvania on a U.S. Air Force C-17. So you know what this means? The Biden-Harris administration is using military assets to fly a foreign leader into a battleground state in order to undermine their political opponents. The area around the ammunition plant had been sealed off. The Scranton plant is one of the few facilities in the country to manufacture 155 mm artillery shells and has increased production over the past year. Ukraine has already received more than 3 million of these shells from the U.S. It's unfortunate that we need a plant like this, but it's here. And it's here to protect the world, said Vera Kowal-Krusin, a first-generation Ukrainian American. She said many of her friends' parents have worked at the munitions plant, and she called Zelenskyy's visit a wonderful thing. With the war well now into its third year, Zelenskyy has been pushing the U.S. for permission to use longer-range missile systems to fire deeper into Russia. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned that Russia would be, quote, at war with the United States and its NATO allies if they allow Ukraine to use the long-range weapons. The 155 millimeter rounds are just one of the scores of ammunition, missile, air defense, and advanced weapon systems the United States has provided Ukraine. Everything from small arms bullets to advanced F-16 fighter jets. The U.S. has been as the largest donor to Ukraine, providing more than $56 billion of the more than $106 billion NATO and partner countries have collected to aid in its defense. Even though Ukraine is not a member of NATO, commitment to its defense is seen by many of the European nations as a must to keep Putin from further military aggression. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the look on his face. Watch the look on Zelenskyy's face. Josh Shapiro, the governor, in a swing state, signing bombs in front of Americans who are suffering, struggling, who can't even barely make rent, their mortgage, put food on the table for their kids. And these guys are shoving it in our face using military assets. And wait till I show you what Zelenskyy said about Trump and Vance. Say quickly about the aggression thing. Even though Ukraine's not a member of NATO, the European countries, they keep saying, oh, this is just a great way to keep Putin in check. Even though Putin has never, ever threatened, and he would not have attacked Ukraine if it wasn't for the weakness of American leadership, particularly with cognitive in decline vegetable-in-chief Joe Biden, Tombstone Biden, as I like to affectionately refer to him as. God knows if he's even alive anymore, if he's even running the country. He put his wife at the head of the cabinet meeting the other day. I mean, nobody knows what's going on. The Middle East is an absolute chaos. I'm telling you, my fellow Americans, this is the most consequential election of our lives. We can't keep letting these people ruin our country. But, Putin has never, ever, given the impression to anybody with any sense, especially military or otherwise, leaders, that he's going to turn into this Hitler-esque guy and go attack and grow his real estate and attack more countries. He's never given that impression. This is all a charade that is being run by these far radical, liberal, Democrat hypocrites, as I like to affectionately call them, to keep that war profit machine going. The same thing they did with Afghanistan. They spent trillions of dollars and then engaged in the worst abandonment, leaving Afghanistan, leaving American soldiers who became deceased because of these awful, egregious actions. This was in the New Yorker where, Vladimir Zelenskyy was interviewed, and he said, you can see the paragraph right here. It's my feeling that Trump doesn't really know how to stop the war, even if he might think he knows how. This is the New Yorker, okay? Now, this is a far-leaning, radical left publication, and I mean, I don't know that many people who take the New Yorker seriously anymore, but millions of eyes see this. So this is literally campaigning. It's literally election interference. He says, with this war, oftentimes the deeper you look at it, the less you understand. I've seen many leaders who were convinced they knew how to end it tomorrow. And as they waded deeper into it, they realized it's not that simple. Can you believe this? I mean, he's denigrating Trump and Vance all at the same time, advocating and pushing for a forever war. If you read between the lines, my fellow Americans, if Kamala wins, we are in for another 20, 30, God knows how long war, much like Afghanistan, wasting trillions of taxpayer dollars, never mind lives. They're going to put boots on the ground eventually. This is exactly, remember, Trump was right about everything in 2016 and beyond. I think he's right about this too when he says we are headed for World War III. This is essentially saying we are getting ready, we are preparing, I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I have my forever war and that World War III eventually comes to that point. Apart from Trump's own reluctance to talk about Ukrainian victory, he has chosen J.D. Vance as his presidential candidate. He is too radical, is Zelensky's response. Vance has come out with a more precise plan to give up territories, he interrupts. And then you see right at the bottom, your words, not mine. But yes, that's the gist of it, the reporter says. His message seems to be that Ukraine must take sacrifice. This brings us back to the question of the cost and who shoulders it. The idea that the world should end this war at Ukraine's expense is unacceptable. But I do not consider this concept of his plan in any formal sense. This would be an awful idea if a person were actually going to carry it out, to make Ukraine shoulder the costs of stopping the war by giving up its territories. But there's certainly no way this could ever happen. This kind of scenario would have no basis in international norms, in UN, statute, in justice, and it wouldn't necessarily end the war either. It's just sloganeering. Fellow Americans, make no mistake, that is a foreign leader campaigning for Harris and Biden on American soil. Everybody is going to see that who is either undecided, left, right, doesn't matter. Everybody's going to see that. It's all over social media. It's all over New York. It's a publication that gets hundreds of thousands of subscribers. That is campaign. That is election interference. Can you imagine? Imagine this. Imagine if Trump brought Putin over on, like, let's say Air Force One. They had a meeting in Georgia or let's say Wisconsin or another swing state. Pick any swing state, doesn't matter. And Putin says, yeah, I think Kamala and Waltz, they're too radical. It wouldn't be a good idea if America hired him. Can you imagine the amount of hysteria the radical woke media would stir? They would erupt with so much propaganda against Trump. You would see senators like AOC and Representative Jayal, and you'd see Bowman, and you'd see Warnock, and you'd see Kamala. You'd see all these people on every single MSNBC, Maddow. They'd all go ape beep. They would. Oh, look at him. He's Mussolini. Oh, look at this. He's this. He's a terror. Look at it. He brings Putin over. But no. Shapiro, governor of a swing state, is signing bombs with a foreign leader on native soil, and everything's okay. That's fine. And he denigrates Trump and Vance, and everything's okay too. Did you see what they released on the assassination attempt? The second one by this nutbag Ryan Root or whatever his name is? A bounty on Trump? Did you see that? Now Trump just issued a statement saying, you know what, you guys aren't taking this seriously enough. You guys are not taking the investigation into my assassination attempt. I don't feel safe, which is absolutely his right. And he's 100% right. Rules for thee, but not for me. That is the Hippocrates. This is treason. This is election interference. And you better believe another huge billion-dollar foreign aid package is going right into Zelensky's pocket, and we're footing the bill. When is it going to end, my fellow Americans? I want you to tap the thumbs up. I want you to share this video with everybody. Nobody's going to be reporting this in the woke media. No American will see this unless you share this out and tap the thumbs up. It's free, for crying out loud. Please do it for your country. Don't do it for me. Do it for your country. And let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Am I overreacting? Am I nuts? Let me know in the comments. I'm open to anybody's views as long as it's not personal ad hominem attack. You give me something constructive. Don't leave links. Links go directly to spam. I don't do links. But you talk about it. I want my comment section to be a collaboration, a conversation. That, I think, is going to heal our country. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this, what your thoughts are on my reaction. I can't wait to hear from you. Check out these videos coming out right here on the right. If you haven't seen this one, I just posted it today. Subscribe, follow over there. Sign up for our free newsletter. It's in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. It's free. Just sign up. Click on it and put your email in there and you're good. And as always, may God bless you. And may God bless America. I'll see you soon.